Aries, welcome to your weekly Sidereal Astrology forecast. This is for May 30th through June 5th, 2016. I'm Athen, and this is for Sidereal. If you are new to the channel, be sure to check out the link because the signs are different. All right, so Aries, this week we have a new moon at the end of the week, and it is forming a grand cross in the sky, which is the constructive energy. All right, so collectively, this is a challenging energy, but I'm going to go through this in terms of how to best utilize this constructive side of it. Because without construction, without this hard work in our personal life, in our personal development, I think that's what's really being cultivated this week is more on the internal spiritual developmental side of things. Then we build the foundations in our life that then serve as the platform for cultivating new things. So that's essentially what's shaping up at the end of the week is the new moon. And as we approach it, the balsamic phase of going within, working on our self-development and planting these seeds in terms of what is being cultivated and what can be very constructive in our life. So that's basically what the aspects are, because approaching that grand cross is the sun forming all the aspects of that grand cross, as well as Venus, because this new moon is going to be conjoining up to Venus. So let's go and look at what this is going to mean. This is going to mean a new beginning with you guys, particularly with your material life. Okay, you guys are having a new moon, a new beginning with what might be for some of you your financial life. Some of you could be your material life in terms of what you enjoy, because really at the end of the day, abundance is what we enjoy, right? Connecting to our senses, the simple pleasures. There could be a lot of new values being derived from this, especially with a conjunction up to Venus like this. And a lot of you too, a greater sense of self-worth and self-esteem in terms of what you can cultivate, what you can attract in your life. Okay, but it does take this grounded and constructive approach. So that's essentially what's on the horizon, but again, approaching this is a bit more of this internalized, building the foundation within to then serve as the platform to move this energy forward, to take the actions necessary next week and onward to cultivate this new beginning. So let's go and look at this in terms of how the week is unfolding. Monday and Tuesday, Mercury is going to be trining up to Pluto, which is actually a good aspect. Mercury is actually very well placed and has been, even during his retrograde time period. So this has been in your first house. And I think over the past roughly month since Mercury was retrograde, you guys have learned a lot about yourselves, I feel like. Maybe about your independence and the importance of that. So that's still moving forward, which is good. And Monday, Tuesday, could be quite deep and quite profound, maybe with your sense of who you are and maybe with your communications. And it makes it a really good day of self-awareness, self-exploration, which is, again, going back to all this stuff you're learning about yourself. But Pluto really helps you do that on that very deep level, right? So there's a lot of this powerful side to it in terms of a deep mind, deep communications, deep understanding about maybe your goals, yourself, your drives, your intentions, these things. Now, as we approach what'll be, let's see, Wednesday and Thursday, we start to form up the first aspects of the new moon. And this is going to be the sun squaring up to Neptune these 2 days. So the Neptune side of it has been this importance of really letting go in terms of your aspirations. You know, Neptune in your 11th house is that self-transcendence and what can be a very powerful liberation, spiritual liberation through the letting go. Okay, so this is still very much in regards to your aspirations, okay, the future things in your life. And again, you can access that current, the flow of life through letting go. So this is where you're finding peace. This is where you can liberate yourself spiritually. And because it's forming the square up to the new moon in regards to these material aspects of life, right? Having the detachment there as well. And that can create peace. That can create a very powerful spiritual liberation, right? Where we're no longer bound by it. We're no longer attached to it. And we're willing to see how things can maybe take us in a direction that we're not aware of. You know, and that's what this whole year has been about with Saturn squaring up to Neptune, is this uncertainty, this unawareness about where things are going and what we're building in life, right? But it's so that we can have more faith, more trust, more tranquility, real tranquility, not from having everything, but from where it really comes from within, of having that acceptance, right? So these are key areas, I think, with aspirations and your material new beginnings, which are around the corner. Now, as the week unfolds, Thursday and Friday, we come up to some more aspects of this Grand Cross. This is going to be the Sun opposing up to Saturn. So this is the balancing side of this whole energy. All right, Saturn's been in your 8th house, helping you really get serious and real with what really matters to you in life. All right, what really matters? Really getting more intimate, more open in life. And this is the values of life that are beyond the material side. You know, this is the deep relationships. This is life and death, beginnings and endings. And it's through that seeing what really matters to us. So the balancing point is seeing that, yes, things are definitely about the material realm, and there's definitely new beginnings with this. But equally as important, in fact, the same, because this is just two sides of the same coin, is everything deeper. Everything that really matters. And building solid foundations with that. Really grounding ourselves into that with Saturn, right? And, balancing the extremes. If it's too much into the transformation, into the depth, into the, really getting into the psychology and all this, it might become too dense, too restrictive. If it gets too, far removed into the material side, then there's not enough groundedness, right? There's not enough stability. So it needs both. And I think that's a good way of working with the energies Thursday and Friday. Now, also these 2 days, Venus is going to be squaring up to that Neptune. So again, with the desires, that transcendence, and even with relationships too, since Venus rules your 7th house. All right, and this is going to be, again, new beginnings, not only with your values, but in many ways relationships, I feel like, which is Venus. All right, but it's all, the stem is all about what you value. All right, this is what the new beginnings are all about. So anyways, these 2 days, Thursday and Friday, having that non-attachment to both the desires, the values, and the relationships can be very transcendental. Now, Friday and Saturday, Venus is going to be opposing up to Saturn on these 2 days. So balance again, not only with the material side, but also with relationships. Okay, and that, having the responsibility, having the maturity in a balanced way, while still enjoying and connecting to your senses, being grateful for what you have in a balanced way. And then Friday and Saturday, the Sun and Venus will be squaring up to Jupiter. So here's where we get into the Jupiter side of all this. Jupiter is about expansion. It's about possibilities. And even in squares, it tends to bring that more inspirational energy out. And this has been inspirations and possibilities for you to express yourself. This is what this whole year has been shifting, is the North Node and Jupiter in your 5th house, for you to really access the fun, the playful, the lighthearted side of life. And to really connect to what really matters to you here, but more in terms of what's close to the heart, right? What gives you that inspiration? So on these days, Friday and Saturday, approaching the new moon, it's good to be aware of that and to see the inspirations on one, and that's the balancing point, without going to either extremes, without getting uninspired or unmotivated, not seeing the possibilities. And at the same time, not going overboard and maybe just wanting things to come easy, right? This is the construction. In fact, any square from Jupiter can become very constructively possible, because it's through Jupiter that the opportunities come in, right? We're seeing them. We're seeing the possibilities. We have a sense of luck because we know the luck is there. But here it's saying it requires effort. It requires work. And I think it's spiritual work. It's spiritual acceptance and balance within self. So it makes it very constructive for self-expression. I think that's great. Anything fun and playful, bringing that side of it into it, even though it may be challenging to do so with the square. All right? And then again, Saturday, Sunday will be the exact time of the new moon, which is a good time to sit with the energies, set new intentions, maybe write things down and see where you can really start to build and make good change here, good constructive change with either your material life, your sense of self-worth, your values, and probably also your relationships as well. All right, so Aries, have a fantastic week. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you all next week.